playing Miller.
My name is Callie, and I'll be playing Rumplestilskin.
My name is Enough, and I'll be playing the Captain of the Guard.
My name is Zach, and I'll be playing Happy.
My name is Hadley, and I'll be playing the Miller's Daughter.
My name is Sora, and I'll be playing the King.
The name on the door says it all. Rumplestilskin, Private Eye. I'm the one people turn to when they're in a jam. The crazy wolf who blew down those pigs' houses, I caught him. When Jack stole the giant's golden laying hen, I tracked him down. Of course, things don't always go so smoothly. Take my last case. What started out as a good mystery almost ended with me in the dungeon, all because of the captain of the guards, a miller's daughter, and a whole lot of straw. It began on a rainy Friday afternoon. I was watching an old Sherlock Holmes movie on TV when the miller walked in the door. I recognized him right away. He and his daughter had been in the news a lot lately. Rumor had it she'd been spinning straw into gold for the king, but I didn't believe that for a minute.
I'm looking for a Private Eye,
The miller said.
That's me. Have a seat.
I poured the miller a glass of soda pop. He was a scraggly-looking man, clothes patched and double-patched, and he needed a haircut worse than Rapunzel. The miller sipped his drink, then sighed.
It's my daughter,
He said.
She's been kidnapped by the king.
I whistled. The king was a little greedy. He said he'd marry anyone who could increase his stash of gold. Still, he's a nice guy, and I had trouble believing that he'd kidnap anyone.
Can your daughter really spin straw into gold?
The miller shook his head.
Of course not. What kind of fairy tale do you think this is?
Then why would the king kidnap her?
Well,
The miller said, looking a little sheepish.
I was bowling with the captain of the palace guard, and I happened to mention how intelligent my daughter is, how beautiful she is, how
He paused.
she can spin straw into gold. The next day, she was gone.
I groaned. There's no telling how many kids have gotten into trouble because their parents break a little too much.
I guess the captain told the king what I said.
The miller concluded.
Can you get my daughter out of the castle?
I thought about it. I had a run-in with the captain of the guard before I caught him taking a bribe from Puss in Boots. It didn't surprise me that he was mixed up in this. But why would the king keep the miller's daughter in the castle if she couldn't spin straw into gold? Surely he'd discovered that fact by now. I told the miller I'd take the case. I love a good mystery, and this one was a puzzler. I shook hands with the miller, then ran to the castle. It was still raining, but I figured, hey, this will save me the trouble of bathing tonight. I stopped at the guard house by the drawbridge. My friend Happy was on duty. He and I had been the first really short people to make it through the guard academy. After I quit to become a private eye, Happy stayed on and became lieutenant. He said a castle guard paid better than working for Snow White, and it was easier than being self-employed, like me.
What's up, Ron?
Happy asked.
I need to see the king.
I said.
Got a case that involves him.
Happy shook his head.
No can do, but the captain of the guard says no one gets in today. I'm just doing what he says. Captain of the guard's got a major case of hay fever and is in a nasty mood.
Now, why would hay fever be bothering him in the castle?
Happy grinned.
The captain found someone to spin straw and gold for the king. His Highness was so excited he ordered us to bring him every bit of straw in the kingdom. One of the three pigs came by the name of to put down his straw house.
Can the miller's daughter really spin straw into gold?
I asked. Happy nodded.
Seen it myself. Straw goes into the main store about an egg. Gold comes out the very next day.
I was just about to ask Happy to let me in the castle to snoop around when the captain of the guard appeared.
What is he doing here?
The captain barked at Happy.
I'm looking for the miller's daughter.
I said.
Have you seen her?
The captain glared at me. As he leaned close to me, I caught a whiff of him. Phew! His uniform was filthy and he smelled like rotten fish.
I don't talk to creeps like you, Rumplestilskin.
Rumplestilskin.
I said.
The name's Rumplestilskin.
The captain had never been able to remember my name.
Whatever.
The captain said.
Happy, follow your orders. No.
He walked back into his castle. Happy sighed. He didn't like the captain either.
Where's the miller's daughter?
I asked.
She's in the storeroom.
Happy whispered.
But you better stay away. You get anywhere near Captain, and he'll be after you with the big bad wolf.
I thanked Happy, then I walked away. Things just didn't make sense. No one could spin straw into gold, but it sure sounded as if that was happening. I had to get in the castle to see for myself, but how? The castle walls were 40 feet tall and the rain made them as thick as ice. I looked down at the moat and saw water shooting out of a drain pipe. Bingo, I thought. Every room in the castle had a large drain on the floor to let water out. Later that night, After the rain stopped, I swam across the moat and squirmed like a worm through the drain pipe. Talk about disgusting, mushy garbage and rats everywhere. I even got a bath and some old fish stew that someone had dumped down the drain. Soon the drain pipe widened into a sewer. It was so dark in there I had to feel my way along the sewer wall. Suddenly I stumbled over some heavy bags of trash. One of the bags slumped on me as I went sprawling into the muck. I wiggled out from under it and kept going along. Eventually I found the pipe leading to the storeroom. As I eased up the room's drain cover, I clanged softly on the stone floor.
Who's there?
A voice snapped. I looked around and saw a young woman sitting by a spinning wheel in the corner of the room.
My name's Rumplestilskin.
I said.
I'm a private eye. Your father sent me to help you.
Great.
She said.
I thought I'd be stuck in here until not so happily ever after.
Suddenly she wrinkled her nose.
Phew!
She said, waving her hand at me.
Yeah, well,
I said.
real life rescues tend to be messier than in fairy tales.
I crawled out of the drain pipe and stood up.
The cleanest escape would be out the window.
I said as I approached her. Then it hit me. The miller's daughter had supposedly been spinning straw into gold, but all night. There's no gold and only a little straw in the room.
Aren't we missing something here?
I asked.
Where's all the straw and gold?
Oh, the captain's already stashed the straw. As for gold, I suppose you'll be taking the blame for that.
Blame for what, I thought. Suddenly an alarm went off in my head. I'd been set up. I tried to run, but the woman grabbed me. She was a full 2 feet taller than me and held me in a half Nelson.
I've got the thief!
She yelled, tightening her grip on my neck.
Guards! Guards!
I choked. I choked.
I'm here to help you.
I don't need your help.
She said.
I'm going to be queen.
I couldn't believe my ears. Before I could say anything, the storeroom door opened and walked the captain and a couple of guards.
Looks like we've caught a thief.
The captain said.
I'm not a thief.
The captain chuckled.
You made it easy, Rumplestilskin.
He said.
Rumplestilskin.
I said.
The name's Rumplestilskin.
Whatever.
The captain said. He pulled out a handkerchief and sneezed.
Anyway, I knew you couldn't be more good.
What's going on?
I asked.
Tricking the king into believing the mother's daughter can swim straw into gold isn't going to do anything for you.
The captain laughed. He said.
Arrested.
Gee, I thought the Wicked Witch hasn't done anything in this guy. Still, you don't need to be a PI if you can't improv. I pushed my shoe under some straw and kicked it up into the captain's face. He exploded and fit in coughs and sneezes, and the other guards tried to help him.
Gotta love hay fever.
I said to the miller's daughter as I stomped on her foot. She screamed and let me go. I lunged for the window.
Get him!
The captain gasped, but I was already jumping. I was 40 feet down right in the moat. Looks like I was finally getting my bath. I pulled myself out of the water and ran for my life. The next morning, I was on the lam. I hid in an apple tree on Old MacDonald Farm, listening to my Walkman. The radio was full of news about me stealing 20 bags of gold from the king's treasury. I groaned. It was a good scam. The captain was stealing gold from the treasury to convince the king that the miller's daughter could spin straw into gold, with me accused of robbing the treasury. It would be hard to prove that no new gold had been added to it. Instead, the miller's daughter would marry the king. The king would gain a fortune in stolen gold, and I'd be on my way to the dungeon. I wanted to scream. I couldn't let the captain get away with this. It would only be a matter of time until the guards found me. Suddenly it hit me. Actually, it bit me. A horse thrust his head into an apple tree and nibbled an apple and got me instead. I fell out of the apple tree and landed hard on my butt. As I rubbed my bruised leg, I felt something in my pocket that hadn't been there the day before. I pulled it out. A gold coin. How had that gotten there? Then I smiled. All at once, I knew how to expose the captain as a thief, stop the king from marrying the con artist, and clear my name. The radio said the king's wedding would be that Saturday in the castle. The entire kingdom was invited, as I figured it wouldn't be too hard to sneak in. Nobody would expect that I'd be dumb enough to return to the scene of the crime. On the wedding day, I hid until the miller and his daughter were marching down the aisle. Then, with a yell, I jumped on the pipe organ. That wedding went quiet faster than little Bo Peep lost her sheep. The king and his bride were horrified. The captain and the guard ran toward me.
You're under arrest, Rumplestilskin.
He shouted. Rumplestilskin, I yelled. The name's Rumplestilskin.
Whatever.
The king said. Behind him, the wedding guests whispered excitedly. Well, I'd give them even more to whisper about. I have come to throw myself on the mercy of your majesty, I said, bowing low, and to restore the stolen gold. As you can imagine, that got the greedy king's attention. He signaled for silence and looked at me.
Very well.
He said,
Please tell me when you do this.
I'll do better than that. I'll show you. The captain of the guard started to protest, but the king hushed him. He wanted his gold back. Hearing that he still had the best of me, the captain gave him. Appy came up to tie my hands.
I can't believe you did it.
Appy said with dismay. Wait and see, I said. I might surprise you yet. Appy finished tying my hands and dragged me before the king.
Now,
The king said.
lead us to the goal.
I started walking toward the throne room.
Where are you going?
The king asked. The gold's in the castle, I said. The captain of the guard and the miller's daughter exchanged worried looks. But the king didn't notice. He really wanted his gold back. So I took off with Happy, the miller, and his daughter, the captain of the guard, trooping along behind me. I kept close to the captain. We walked through the throne room, past the treasury, down into the kitchen. The captain was starting to get restless.
You're trying my patience, Rumplestilskin.
He said. The name's... Oh, never mind, I said. The gold's nearby. I just forgot which room. We descended a stairway and walked down a long hall. This was taking longer than I thought it would. I was just getting nervous when the captain pulled out a handkerchief, took a deep breath, and sneezed. The gold's in there, I said, pointing to the nearest door. It led to the dungeon.
Preposterous.
The captain blustered, but he wasn't in charge here.
Open the door.
The king ordered. Appy marched forward, swung open the door wide open. We crowded in to stare at the straw. There were piles and piles of straw. At first, no one understood.
Where's the gold?
The king asked, then Happy smiled and turned toward the king.
Captain said all the straw in the kingdom had been turned into gold.
Happy said.
If that's true, what's all the straw doing here?
The captain sneezed. The miller's daughter didn't spin any straw into gold, I said. The captain swapped the straw for gold from the treasury, then blamed his theft on me. The two were working in cahoots to rob you, your majesty.
Then where's my gold?
The king asked. Hidden in the sewer under the castle, I said, then I pulled out the gold coin I found in my pocket. I tripped over the bags, climbing up here to rescue the miller's daughter, and this slid into my pocket. Then I remembered how the captain smelled like rotten fish the other day, just like I did crawling through the sewer. I figured he was hiding the gold there until the coast was clear. The captain frowned at the captain and the miller's daughter.
It wasn't my fault.
The miller's daughter stammered.
Your father and the captain made me do it.
Glad did it. The miller, his daughter, and the captain began yelling and arguing like you wouldn't believe. There is no honor among the beasties. The king ordered Happy to throw them all in the dungeon. Happy and I crawled into the sewer and retrieved all the stone gold. The next day, I came to the castle. Congrats on the promotion, I told Happy. You've been bumped up to captain with the former captain doing time,
Thanks,
he said.
but I didn't know that you're not a thief.
How's the king doing now that he knows the gold spreading bride was a fake? Happy
He's
shrugged.
feeling great. You just heard about this guy named Midas who has the golden touch. The king thinks he'll be rolling in gold before the week's out.
I groaned. It looked as if the king would be keeping me busy for the next few happily ever after very busy days. And that's nothing to sneeze at.